Hey family, this is Dominique of Eloah Ministries, the remnant, and the reason there's no picture is because I'm driving, so it's sitting off to the side, and I'm just coming on here because so I can just talk to you guys for a minute. I think I live more at the library now than I do my waking hours at the house, which is kind of crazy, but this the worship and calendar book has been a huge undertaking. If you've ever known anyone who was writing a novel, then you know that it took a long time. This has been years in the making, years. Prayer, study, the Father correcting me in different places, just all of those things. And the grand rising. So I'm just talking and driving. That's why there's no screen. I've been doing little touches to this document. So like when you're putting on a play and you're down to the day before the play is going to be shown, and so I think I'm up to like 88 pages. So if you're interested in the worship book and calendar, it is totally free. You can email me at eloaa2008@gmail.com. That's eloa2008@gmail.com. And I'm sorry I can't read any comments because I'm driving, but greetings. And if you're listening to the replay, greetings. But I just wanted to come on because I had said 10:30. But this book is just so, and it is a worship book. So I'm set to mail out my first ones tomorrow. I was just copying some of the color pages that I have in it. Again, if you're interested in this worship book and calendar, it's the Father's worship book and calendar. Is at eloa2008@gmail.com. Just put calendar in the comment line, and if you're interested in the newsletter quarterly, also put that in there. But it's been very exciting to do this book. It's been very, very exciting. And so so anyone who emailed me up to today, your book will go out tomorrow. Your worship book will go out tomorrow. Also, as soon as I get 5 seconds, I'm going to send you the PDF also. You also get, I'm trying to find my zits to include in the package, and you're also getting a gift in the package, but you won't know what it is until you get your package. So yeah, and again, it's totally free. The Father is footing the bill for everything, like he does. He's the Father, and he provides, and so that includes the postage and everything else. But if you so choose to give, you'll have to listen for that later, because I'm not big on doing fundraisers. But anyway, I'm just excited to get this out. It has been a lot of work. It has been a lot of learning. It has been a lot of growing. It's been a lot of all of those things, but I really have enjoyed it. I'm glad I'm at this point. So as far as the reading, once I get to the house, and I'm going to jump back on and do the reading, because we're doing preparatory reading for Passover. And I just wanted to say that I see the Father converging everybody. When in 2019, when I first started, everybody was everywhere. Some people were doing it in March, some people were doing it in April. It is some people doing that, but what I mean is that the people that I listen to, even though we can't talk one-on-one on YouTube, I do listen to other ministries. We seem to be converging. The Father is pulling us together. And it's going to be a great day when we can all celebrate this together as one. And I can't wait for that. But there's work to be done before that happens. There is evangelism that needs to be done before that happens, and more awakening of other people before that happens. And that's what I'm just looking forward to. So my, I don't want to call them my two sisters that come on here. They've been really patient with me and my going back and forth and prayers and fasting and my tears about this calendar to the Father. I just want to be in line with him, his word, his will, and his way. And I want to thank them for their patience, because I know sometimes I was probably like whiny. I'm like, what's going on? So, and they've heard me say that before. I really thank them for their support during this endeavor. So the Father favor everybody who orders one with understanding, grace and mercy, because I think what he did was he had to simplify it for me, because you'll always hear me say I'm not that smart, and so he had to simplify things for me sometimes, and I would be confused, and I'm like, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why I was confused so much is because the world has taken all the Father's information and made it so complex that when it comes time to simplifying and just looking at what he's given us and just looking at it in its simplicity, it's hard to do. Everything with this world has to be brain surgery. That is the ugliest car. Is that one of those Elon Musk looks like a tank things? Ugh, that's horrible. I'm sorry. I was driving past that. But anyway, they complicate everything to the point where when it comes to simplifying, and they've glorified chaos. That's what it is. That's what I'm looking for. So the world and the evil one has glorified chaos so much that chaos is our expectation, to the point where when it comes down to just simplifying what the Father's done, it's almost like impossible to do it. And so I want to thank the Father for doing that. He simplified everything for me, because he already knew. He already knew. Okay. He was like, my child, what are you doing? He was like, my child. I can hear him now. He's like, my child, what are you doing? He was like, just calm down and stay right here, and let me show you what I'm talking about. And that's what, and I'm gonna have to laugh, because that is exactly what was going on. Because when I first woke up, oh my goodness, I had no measuring rod. The only thing that was the Rev 2 Niners and what they were doing. And the first thing the Father told me, he was like, don't do nothing they doing, because it's all wrapped up in Kabbalahism and hedonism, among other things. So I guess I can keep talking. And walking. Let me go in here in the chat. Sorry y'all, I gotta make sure I'm close enough to the curb. I'm parking now. And just continue this when I get upstairs, and I gotta grab the one. So the Father has been blessing me with being able to print these. I had contemplated finding a printer, but if I had done that, I would not have been able to give them for free. So that's the reason I ran into that problem. And I'm glad I ran into that problem, because that's not a problem we want. The Father's goal is to get this out and to get his word out, and just make sure that we are on point, and that when things come together, that we're not all over the place. And so, like I said, this is 88 pages of his word and his will and his way, and the beautiful way that he does things. And I just can't wait till I mail the first 5, which is gonna happen tomorrow. So all right, gotta let that person pass. Um, they were freaking out there a minute about me. I have this park on the side of the street here. Sorry, y'all. I'm put this phone down for a sec. I mean the tablet. And woo, another good thing about the library is they have free books. That's one of my things. Let me grab my coffee and lock this door. And I'm gonna run upstairs. My dandelion coffee. All right. Headed upstairs, y'all. I always cover all the cameras on my devices so that the internet and whatever they're doing can't be looking at me in all my glory in the morning. I'm like, oh my goodness. These people. And I forget, it was about maybe 2 or 3 years ago where some woman, their TV turned on and it was watching their children. And ever since then, I don't care if it's my laptop, my tablet, my telephone, but my cameras are covered. Oh, they are covered. Y'all get to hear every door I slam. All right. This is interesting. This is the first time I've ever done this with a live. Like I'm in motion. All right. I'm tromping up the stairs here. And then we're going to get to reading. I may have to set it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song to transition us over. And then set up my granddaughter's laptop so she can watch me read. So give me a moment, y'all. Hey, Pumpkin. He said, oh, yeah, the library also has free CDs. They do. I'm going to play 2 songs to give me a chance to get set up here. All right, quick. Shh. Quiet down, honey. Okay. He said at least they had a seed library a couple years ago. They still have them. I get the notifications. If you sign up with the library, then they'll send you, notifications about it. So let's see what we got here. I'm signing into my other YouTube. Yep, give me about 5 minutes and then I'll be ready to read. Okay. All right, where's the laptop? I think I have more devices than I have hands and fingers. But it's worked out for the benefit. All right, where's YouTube, please? I need some music. So, anybody who's also donated, it doesn't matter how much you donated, you also are getting the book for free. So, here we go. I'm going to play Our Father, and then I'll be right back with you guys in a moment.
Our Father in heaven, set apart is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. On earth as it is in never. Our Father in heaven, set apart is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Our Father in heaven, set apart is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Yours is the power, forever. The kingdom, the power, the glory, forever. The kingdom, the power, the glory,
The kingdom power, the glory forever. Praise his holy name. Thank you, God. Oh, welcome, Beth. Welcome, Beth. Miss Beth Spraggins with your whole name up there. Look, most people actually change that. I don't know if you know or not, but you can actually change that and put like an alias up there so people don't know your name, cuz it's some mean and evil people on here on YouTube, and you just don't want people looking you up either. That's the other thing. So, um when you get a chance, if you need me to help you with it, I will. Just call me, but I can help you change that. So yeah, the internet is a good place to be anonymous, right? It's a good place to be anonymous. So welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. We just asked to approach the throne of grace, to be present within his face, to be edified by his word, and to be filled with the set apart spirit. We want to thank the Father for awakening us all and for us being able to have this calendar. I'm really, really excited. When I mailed that first calendar, I'm thinking about having a party. I am because oh my goodness. But yes, it's been a pleasant journey, but it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of what you want to call misinterpretations, failures. But the good part is that all that's behind us, behind me, it's behind us, and we're able to have a calendar that the Father, and it's all based on his word. It's very simple. But I do have the calendar itself. I have it in several different formats. So I'm just gonna run through some of the ones that are off my mind. Um, I gotta find my list where I'm supposed to be reading from today. Anyways, so the one is a year at a glance, sort of like it only has, the 12 months. It has the appointed days highlighted, but there's really not enough room to do anything else on that with. Then I have all 12 months uh magnified, so it's 12 pages. So that's part of the reason we have a lot of pages on this calendar, but it's in these various forms because some people are used to different kinds of calendars. Then I have one calendar in here that's done by seasons. So each page has a different season, and that calendar is 4 pages. So you have a calendar that's 1 page, a calendar that's 12 pages, and you have a calendar that's 4 pages, so that the reason the Father had me do it that way, I truly began to see and understand, is because once you actually visualize what set apart days are, especially on that calendar at a glance, you're gonna see that the first set of commanded feast and the second set of commanded feast actually parallel each other. They parallel each other in the fact that they have a 7 day and plus a plus one, if you want to call it, which makes it 8. Then you have the counting of the Feast of Weeks, where you count 7 weeks, and then you get to what I call the little jubilees, which is the 50th day. And then when you look at that calendar at a glance and you look across, the 50th week of the year is on the exact line, on the exact day of the Father's month. They're both on the 11th of the third month of that quarter. And those are the kind of miracles and what is the other word I'm looking to use? Oh my goodness, favor that the Father has given on this calendar journey. I just can't say it enough. So this calendar, this worship book and calendar, it also includes tips for preparing for Passover. There's pictures of the menorah in it. So if you don't have a menorah, at least you have a picture. There is every section is divided in it, so it does come in, like I said earlier. I could not afford, and then it would be super expensive. So you can imagine that if I were to do this worship book slash calendar and then have someone print it, and it's almost 100 pages long, it's probably going to be big bank. So we're getting the spiritual aspect. I've designed a cover for it. That's everything about this worship book is handmade. I make them. because it brings me joy, and I say it's free because the Father provided for it. Okay. And so if you're local, because I have gotten a couple requests for them locally, and people who actually donated to help me um, see this through. So unfortunately, local people, you're gonna get yours next week. So because I have to get these mailers out, I want these mailed out because it only takes local people a day or three to get there. So if I can complete them by Saturday for local people, but my plan is to get these 5 out um tomorrow. They're going out tomorrow, and I'm sure I can. I can. So I have the confidence in the Father. I had to ask him for strength. I had to ask him for guidance and to keep my feet to keep me uplifted in regard to that. Let me see if I can find, because I'm looking for the list. Oh, McMoney, do you know where I am? I'm supposed to be reading from. We did Exodus 12. Did we do Exodus 13? Or do you know? I remember. I probably can look at one of my old videos, huh? And see the list. Hold on. The video from yesterday should have the list up there. So one moment here. Go to my page. So we can get started because I know this is going in a little longer, but I wanted to come on here and not be super, super late. And I was already late. So hold on. Review of Passover. Okay. Today is Leviticus 23. So today is Leviticus 23. We will be reading, and I'm going to get started reading that right now. Okay, so Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23 covers. Oh, also, just to let you know, to promote the Father's worship book, because this book is all about Him. One of the sections has all of the actual chapters that are listed on the list that we're reading for this week in preparation for Passover. And the other thing I forgot I wanted to say about Passover is this: the regardless to where you are, um, I said in the car that the Father was bringing us together. I could tell that we're moving closer and closer. Like before, when this all started, um, everybody was far apart, but now I think everybody is pretty much in the same 2 weeks. In the same 2 weeks, as far as their counting. I don't want to use the word calculating because I think that's an inappropriate term to use for the Father's calendar, because he has very specific and simplistic instructions. I'm going to say again, the Father is the same yesterday, today, and always. He has a specific purpose, plan, and pattern for our lives, and his calendar is the same way. It does not change. So once you get this calendar, you will not need to have another calendar. Okay? This calendar is structured, and it just makes sense. It flows like it's supposed to. And so I'm just excited about it because it's been a long time coming. And if you guys could like, share, and subscribe, that would be great. If you want to read along for Leviticus, that would also be great. Passover is going to begin. Oh, and I'm having a live Passover. It's going to begin at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me, on the 30th. So 3:30 of 2026, we're going to be doing Passover together. I'm going to put instructions together for that, and before it happens. So, okay, so let me go ahead and start reading. All right, we're going to do Leviticus 23. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat so they can be addressed. So Leviticus 23 is the feast of the great I am. And the great I am spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, the feast of the great I am, which you will proclaim to be holy convocations. These are my feast. 6 days. This is the Shabbat. How can I transition that easier? I'm going to say, what I'm going to say is new subject, the Shabbat. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is a Shabbat of solemn rest, a holy convocation. You shall do no work on it. It is the Shabbat of the great I am in all your dwellings. New subject: the Passover and unleavened bread. These are the feast of the great I am, holy convocations, which you shall proclaim at their appointed times on the 14th day of the first month at twilight. Now, remember again, I said early in earlier recordings, twilight is the same thing as first light, and in the evening, it is called last light. We, as Bible people of the book, only concern ourselves with two things: the sunset and the sunrise, and twilight and first light and last light. And when you see me um, do the announcement for the time and date, I refer to it as such. I refer to it as first light and last light. The reason it's important is because about the sacrificing of the lamb has to be done at that time. It has to be done at twilight. Okay. So on the 14th day of the first month at twilight is the great I am's Passover. On the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So Monday evening, after we have our meal together, as soon as you wake up the next day, it is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. No leaven is to be found in your homes. You are not to eat any leaven or have any leaven in your homes for 7 days. So you have to eat what's called flat bread or fry bread, and it's very who was that? Somebody used to make they call it hot water cornbread. And you all it was hot water, I think a little oil and some cornmeal. That's basically the recipe for unleavened bread, except you use flour. Okay. So on the 15th day on the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread to the great I am. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. So every day, even if you don't like it, my suggestion to people just entering in here, I go all out. I be making matzo pizza. I be making um, fruit pies. Like I make an apple pie with the matzo after you cook it. But if you're a person that's just doing this so that it's not overwhelming, make you a batch of little, like, you have you ever seen kids pancakes about the size of kids pancakes, like a small wafer, and just make sure you take a bite of unleavened bread every day because a lot of people don't like it. So, you know, so continuing reading. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it, but you shall offer an offering made by fire to the great I am 7 days. The seventh day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it. New subject: the feast of first fruits. And the great I am spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you come into the land which I give to you and reap its harvest, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of the harvest to the priest. He shall wave the sheaf before the great I am to be accepted on your behalf. On the day after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it. Now this is where first fruits comes in. So the day after the Shabbat is first fruits. The day after the seventh day of unleavened bread is first fruits. And if I'm not mistaken, it's also the day that you begin counting up to 50 days to what I call little jubilees. The world calls it Pentecost, and some call it the Feast of Weeks. Okay. I call it little jubilees. Okay. So he shall wave the sheaf before the great I am to be accepted on your behalf. On the day after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it, and you shall offer on that day when you wave the sheaf a male lamb of the first year, without blemish, as a burnt offering to the great I am. Its grain offering shall be 2 tenths of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil. Basically, the recipe I just gave you. An offering made by fire to the great I am for a sweet aroma. And its drink offering shall be wine, 1/4 of a hin. You shall eat neither bread nor parched grain. Let me read that again. You shall eat neither bread nor parched grain. That includes corn. Corn is a grain. So I also don't eat rice. I use quinoa as a substitute. Okay. You shall eat neither bread or parched grain nor fresh grain. Or you can't eat parched or fresh grain until the same day that you have brought an offering to the great I am. Um, it shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. So my suggestion to you for this offering would be to make an offering of prayer as you close out the Feast of Unleavened Bread and how you open up the counting to Pentecost. Not only that, um, I was gonna suggest something. Uh, I was gonna suggest burning some money, but anyway, I'm not gonna suggest that live. Anyway, I don't know, maybe fast for an hour as an offering, but it's actually supposed to be some kind of offering. Okay. So, new subject, the Feast of Weeks. And you shall count for yourselves from the day after the Shabbat, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Shabbats shall be completed. Count 50 days to the day after the seventh Shabbat. Then you shall offer a new grain offering to the great I am. You shall bring from your dwellings 2 wave loaves of 2 tenths of an ephah. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven. So after the unleavened bread feast is over and you're doing first fruits that next day, I've done this before. I just make 2 small little loaves of bread. Sort of like what you see at, what is that? The Olive Garden. Anyway, they shall be baked with leaven. They are the first fruits to the great I am, and I don't eat them. Okay. And you shall offer with the bread 7 lambs of the first year without blemish, 1 young bull and 2 rams. They shall be as burnt offering to the great I am. Now, breaking here for 1 second. They had to do a lot of offering. Okay. Just imagine this was you during the Messiah's time, doing all these offerings. Oh, quinoa. I thought quinoa was a seed because you can sprout it. Um, so yeah. So I'm gonna have to double check that because I remember checking that and it was said that quinoa was a seed. Like chia is also a seed. So chia seeds, flax seeds. So I'm gonna look into that. But thank you for that. Okay. So they shall be as a burnt offering to the great I am, with their grain offering and their drink offering, an offering made by fire for a sweet aroma to the great I am. Then you shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, and 2 male lambs of the first year as a sacrifice of a peace offering. The priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits as wave offering before the great I am, and 2 lambs. So the reason that we don't sacrifice anymore is because we don't have a physical temple. Okay. But we are the temple, because this is where the set apart spirit resides, is within us. And remember when the Messiah said, if you tear this temple down in 3 days, he would raise it. All right, give me the chills. And you shall proclaim on the, resuming reading, and you shall proclaim on the same day that is a holy convocation to you. You shall do no customary work on it. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. So if it's saying this is a holy convocation, you have to have your bread ready already in the refrigerator or something. So that makes this a double set apart day. So in other words, the last day of unleavened bread and first fruits are both set apart days. So you need to have your food ready and you need to have your wave loaves ready. Just make 2 tiny ones. Like when I say, you could make something the size of 2 biscuits. And especially if you're new to this, don't overwhelm yourself. The Father, just from my experience and the joy that you get from doing it, He appreciates the fact that you're even trying, okay? Because so many, they don't want to do this. And I had asked the Father, oh, I asked the Father for me not to forget this, and I forgot to type it up, but I'm going to just say it because He gave this to me this morning, and it was so profound. The Father said to me as I was driving to my second home, the library, He said, He said that people, when your life, when your physical life is threatened, our natural inclination is to survive. How much more about our spiritual life? We should be 3, 4, 5, 6 times more spiritually driven in regard to saving our spiritual life and our souls than we are to our physical life. I just thought that was profound. I don't know what the Father said to you as you listen to that. But to me, I repeat, on my way to the library, I so did not want to forget that, to the point I wanted to print it out so I could have a printout of it. But I'm going to write it out. Because I just thought that I was, those are the type of gifts I love for the Father to give, because I'd be like, man, that is so deep. That's deep, Father. Um, because you don't think about stuff like that. We will fight for our physical lives. We will fight somebody. These people even go to war. And what I did, the Father gave me about wars also. He said that man-made wars are a form of satanic sacrifice. I'm going to repeat that. He said that man-made wars are a form of satanic sacrifice. Can you imagine? And that's why these people get all this power. That's why we have the atomic bomb. It's because they made the they killed enough people. I guess Satan was satisfied. So he gave them more information. And that's how the atomic bomb came to be. Okay. We didn't just get this information because these people were smart. They made deals with the devil. Okay. They made deals with Satan. If you do your homework and you do your history and you look at how the fallen angels were giving mankind secrets they weren't supposed to have. We can just look not too far in our own historical past at evidence of that. The atomic bomb is that evidence. So let me get off my soapbox and continue reading here. So let's see. Continue reading Leviticus 23 and 22. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corners of your field. When you reap, nor shall you gather any gleaning from your harvest. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am the Father, the great I am. I am your Father, the great I am. So I'm a proponent of helping people that are in my sphere of influence. I am not a proponent of giving these big corrupt industries and places my money so that my conscience, I used to, and in the same reason, so that my little conscience can be um reassured. Because what they do is they pay themselves, they steal the money. We keep seeing, we see it here with our one of our electric companies. They're having a big huge trial now. So, and then I used to have, even though the Red Cross does come to some people's aid at various in sundry times, as you might want to call it, but um it's just not, I'm not there anymore. It's like, first of all, I don't have that much money to be giving everybody, and second, if people are in real need in my sphere of influence, the Father actually brings that to my attention, so I'm able to help people that way. I tell people, if you want to tithe to your own emergency, not your personal emergency fund, but for your this fund right here, the Leviticus 23 and 22 fund. That's what I'm gonna start calling it. The Leviticus 23 and 22 fund for the poor. Okay. So we don't know people's a lot of people don't like giving to people on the street, but I used to serve in the soup kitchen in the women's shelter. I saw some classmates there and it broke my heart. But and the way we served, we would pick Saturdays. At that time I wasn't a a full Bible observer, put it that way. And so we were required to like make our own meals at the house, and we brought our meal, our food. It was like, so like if you volunteered to make spaghetti, somebody made the salad, somebody brought the rolls, blah 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 blah. And so that's the way we used to serve on Saturdays, and we would serve the homeless on Saturdays. And so when it talks about the poor, I say give your 10% to your own fund. And then when you hear about somebody getting burned out of their house or something like that, then you have money to give them. And truth be known, that's actually how I funded Eloa Ministries. Especially when I was working. I retired early, but I would tithe my 10%, and usually it was more like 25. That's how I was able to go on the radio. And radio's not cheap, and do different things. Like, when I did a huge dinner for Purim, what they call Purim. We renamed it the Reckoning and the Day of Deliverance. That's the book of Esther. But I mean, I was able to, have everybody come and not pay for that dinner. So these are the types of things I urge people to do. And then, every now and then, it's not, if it's a mom and pop ministry, or somebody says, hey, I need money for this, but I just don't agree with all these people that's flying. You got 5 houses, and Right now, I ain't even got a house like that. I don't own a home. I do have a home to live in, but I'm just saying, I'm not about to give my money to people like that. I'm not about to do it. It's not just not gonna happen. So, resuming reading 23 and 23. Now, this is what I wanted to say. How the Father, even though he used King James to write this Bible, how they divided it was spectacular. So Leviticus 23 and 23 begins the second half of the commanded feast. And when I noticed that, I was just like, oh, here we got another miracle. Those are miracles to me. Okay. So the Feast of Trumpets. Then the great Am spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a Shabbat rest, a memorial of blowing trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it, and you shall offer an offering made by fire to the great I am. Next subject is the Day of Atonement. And the great Am spoke to Moshe, saying, also the 10th day of the 7th month shall be the Day of Atonement. It shall be a holy convocation for you. You shall afflict your souls. Okay. So nothing afflicts my soul like not being able to eat. I don't know about you, but some people want to dispute the fact that it's a day of fasting. Okay. It's not just a day of fasting, but it's a day of reflection. It's a day of prayer. It is a day that is commanded. So, I don't know. Some people argue that point, but ever since I've been awakened in 2019, I have observed by fasting. Okay. You shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire to the great I am. And you shall do no work on that same day, for it is the day of atonement to make atonement for you before the great I am your Father. So let me say something before we go any further as far as the feast that we're about to enter into and the Passover. This is a renewal of the covenant, okay? And those who are still in churchianity will argue up and down about that, but it's because they haven't been awoken and they are still being hypnotized because they haven't read the Bible for themselves. And I'm going to always say that. Don't believe me. Don't believe a word I say. You need to take it to the Father and you need to ask him what the truth is, okay? So continuing reading. For any person who is not afflicted in soul on that same day shall be cut off from his people. And any person who does any work on that same day, that person I will destroy from among his people. You shall, right there, wrapped up in a couple sentences. You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be a Shabbat of solemn rest, and you shall afflict your souls on the 9th day of the month at evening. So this one is from evening to evening. And if you notice, when I say that these two sets of commanded feasts are parallel to one another, that the Passover is the same way. The Passover begins in the evening. What else I wanted to say about if you have an emergency, okay, which I think the Father has control of those types. But if you have an emergency, go take care of your emergency. If you're a caretaker like I am and like McMoney is, and you're caretaking for people um that may not be able to help themselves, you don't forego them. Remember that story about the apostles? They were walking through a field of food or whatever, and the Sadducees or Pharisees or whoever it was, they were trying to check them because they were picking food to eat. And then he gave them I think it was the parable of being in the ditch. Am I correct on that one? You lost audio. Did I lose audio? Can you guys hear me? Oh, and thank you for correcting that about the quinoa. Quinoa is a seed, so it is permissible to be eaten in place of all the grains um during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. If you can still hear me, can you put a 1 in the chat, McMoney? I'm not sure what's going on. But I'm going to continue on reading. And while we broke there, let me just give you an idea of what unleavened bread is supposed to look like. You can have fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, meat, as long as it is biblically permissible. Okay, so we know we're not eating any pig. They have beef bacon for those who love bacon. I forgot what that company is. I'll grab it. I might grab it and do like a short of the product. But it's really good. I use it to season things like my beef and barley soup, or you can use it for crumbles on a salad or something like that. I don't usually eat it as strips of bacon. I use it to flavor different things, but it's really good, and it's actually beef bacon. um Other things, you don't want to eat anything with preservatives. One of the things I found when I first started observing Passover, that you need to become a label reader. Even the water, some of the water has baking soda in it. I was like, who in their right mind, and we know that's an oxymoron, puts baking soda in water? But anyways, that's just crazy. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. Everybody can hear. So, get rid of your baking soda, your baking powder, your cream of tartar, those types of things. Any bread that you have, as a matter of fact, I have some bread I'm gonna give it to somebody that because it's kind of expensive bread, but it does have. I looked at it the other day, and I think it does have yeast in it. But it's an artesian bread. It's a clean bread. In other words, it was not made with grain that was grown with glyphosate, and it only has a couple ingredients. And so, but so um so can you all hold on for 1 second? I'm sorry. Hey, Davy three. I have a new PDF for you. You want to come in and sit down? No, I didn't think so. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Greetings, Davy three. I'm glad to see you. I'm Do you want? Davy three? Do you want What am I trying to say? I have a new PDF. That first PDF, I don't know why I kept trying. I downloaded it like 5 or 6 times. It keeps coming out crooked, and I don't know why. It's like slanted. But also, I wanted to know, do you want a hard copy of it? It would be much better. Like I say in my promotion of the Father's worship book and calendar, if the internet goes down, it's better for us to have a hard copy. It is very complete, it is very concise. So just email me and let me know if you want me to mail you one. It also comes with a gift that I'm not telling anybody what it is, but if you also want a Zitsy, I can put the Zitsy in there. So anybody that is not local to me, I need to know by tomorrow morning whether or not you want a hard copy of the worship book and the calendar, because I'm going to the post office first thing in the morning to get them out to people who are out of state. My hope is that you have them by Saturday, or Atterday, as I like to call it. So I apologize for that disruption. So at any rate, also, if you desire not to get a PDF with all 88 pages and you just want strictly the calendars, then I'm going to do separate PDFs for each kind of calendar you get, and I'll just send you uh, that via PDF, and you can print that off too. So let's go ahead and get into the Feast of Tabernacles. I apologize for that disruption. So then the great I am spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days to the great I am. On the first day there shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it. For 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire to the great I am. On the 8th day you shall have a holy convocation, and you shall offer an offering made by fire to the great I am. It is a sacred assembly, and you shall do no customary work on it. These are the feasts of the great I am, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire to the great I am, a burnt offering and a grain offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, everything on its day, besides the Shabbats of the great I am, besides your gifts, besides all your vows, and besides all your free will offerings, which you give to the great I am. Now, currently, I'll say it again, we don't do all those things. I do the 2 wave loaves, but we don't do all of that because we don't have a temple. What I also wanted to point out, and hopefully I'll point it out when that time comes. When you get close to the second set of commanded feast days, pay attention right around the Day of Atonement. So who has to go bye-bye, and not in a good way? And what I mean by that is people in power who have instituted laws that were totally wrong and against what the Father wants. I started paying attention to that. And I'm like, oh, I'm like going, oh, I know people go out of this world every day, but I don't want to say it's sobering is the word I want to use. So continuing reading, I think we only have another paragraph. So, also on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, you shall keep the feast of the great I am for 7 days. On the first day there shall be a Shabbat rest, and on the 8th day a Shabbat rest. And you shall take for yourselves on the first day the fruit of beautiful trees, branches of palm trees, the boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook. And you shall rejoice before the great I am your Father for 7 days. So, in other words, this is a party. You're supposed to get you some leaves and some branches and sing some hymns and some songs and have a good time. Now, it mentions this 8th day. That has been phrased the last great day. That is believed to be, now I'm not saying it is or it, but it's believed to be the last great day or the day of the return. Okay, so when you're observing that, and that still has yet to be proven because we know that he said you won't know the day or the hour. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. So I'm not claiming anything because I'm just saying what my understanding of it is. Okay. So you shall keep it as a feast to the great I am for 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever. He said, Forever, forever, in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in booths for 7 days. All who are native Israelites blah, blah, blah. All who are native Israelites shall dwell in booths. I don't know why my tongue won't work right now. That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am your Father, the great I am. So Moshe declared to the children of Israel the feast of the great I am. And that ends Leviticus 23. So, again, if you just have questions about anything I've said, you can email me at eloaa2008 at gmail.com. That's eloa2008 at gmail.com. If you would like the workbook slash father's calendar, it is so far 88 pages long. You can just get the PDF, or you can get the free workbook mailed to you, or you can get both. If you don't want all of that, you can get the various forms of calendars, and you can choose which ones you want to print or not print, and they will be in the PDF form. Again, you can email me and just put in your email what you would like and what you would not like. Also, what else here? Anybody that's getting a hard copy mailed to them has a gift coming for ordering it. And I'm going to try to get, I just saw my zits I made like last year, and I'm going to try to include those zits in it. But there's already a gift in there. The zits were going to be a bonus. And then also in your email, if you would like a quarterly newsletter, which I'm going to get started as soon as I'm done with this worship book and calendar and get the first set mailed out. So I'm just excited about it. I don't know about you guys, but let me go in the chat for a moment. I've been on here for an hour. Oh, wow. Okay, so feel free to send it. Okay, so I'll read. Okay, I'll send an email. All right. You said, oh, okay. So, McMoney is the ox or cow in the ditch. Oh, it was an ox or a cow? I don't know. I thought it was a donkey in the ditch. Don't give me the line because I don't, my mind's not working right now. Wow, YouTube got me all messed up today. Had to go out and come back in. Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's the internet. That's what happened to me the other day when I was first trying to do the first ones of these. Okay, so tomorrow I'm just gonna verbally tell you off the top of my head the oh, McMoney, if you can type these in for me. Deuteronomy 16, what is it? Exodus 12, Exodus 13, Exodus 20, Leviticus 23, Leviticus 25, and I think Jubilee 6. And I threw Genesis 1 in there to make it 8. But those are the scriptures that we need, and all of those are in there, like the parts that pertain directly to the all the commanded feasts are printed out in that book, in this worship book. And again, I'm going to stress it because what we see going on in the world now, they've already come out and said umpteenth times that our infrastructure for our energy is one bad move, just like what was that, the black East Coast blackout, what happened in Houston with the storms, and now we got this war. And I'm really stressing this because Iran, and I'm not sure if you heard this, but Iran, they, what did they do? They infiltrated one of the medical. Now I know you, if you ever went to the hospital or you ever went to visit somebody in the hospital, you saw this name on the bed. The name was Stryker with a Y. They infiltrated that company and messed them all up. And I can't go into details. I remember it was about a week and a half ago. So when it comes down to us, the reason the Father had me so what I want to say, determined with this workbook and getting it out. And then if people, you can either go to the library, it's going to cost you, some libraries give you free printing, which I'm thankful for. So I'm like the library bandit now, because the one library I absolutely love, they give you $10 a week. So I'm able to actually print one worship book at that library per week. But then I have to supplement when I'm printing the other hard copies. And I don't mind I'm not saying that as a complaint. I'm just saying when it comes down to it, if you just want to, if you don't want me to have your email and your address and all that, I totally understand because we don't know each other one on one. But pray to the Father. He might tell you I'm cool. Okay. So I'm not gonna use your information nefariously. I'm not gonna give it to nobody else. I'm not gonna do any of that. But I just think it's important for us to have this hard copy and have it printed because it's like a supplement. I don't even want to say it's a supplement to the Bible. It is a guide if you, because it has all the scriptures that you need to observe and be obedient with the commanded feast. That's the only thing I have to say. You could open this workbook, and I'm not trying to take away from the Bible, but it has all the scriptures. They're printed big, and that was the other reason it's so many pages, is because I have print big enough so you can read it without your glasses for the most part, unless you just, you have a very strong prescription or something. But for me, I like to be able to sometimes read things without my glasses. There's lots of encouragement in it. It is a book you can also use on the Shabbats, not just the commanded feast. You could use them on, on the seventh day of rest. It could be utilized for um, the feast of rededication, or for the feast of reckoning and deliverance, which is the book of Esther. I mean, it's a, that's why the Father, no, not I, the Father had me rename it a worship book and calendar. And so I'm just excited about it because I'm going to be using it myself. And so let me go back into the chat, and then I'm going to go ahead and end with a prayer. Um okay, that's cool. I don't mind at all. Let's see. Just saw a snippet from 60 Minutes. The water infrastructure of Littleton, MA was hacked. They came very close to shutting the system down. Yes, I will say that has been a concern of mine because I look at our water system here and it's like part of it is out in the open. I'm like, dudes, y'all need to fix that. Let's see. So I have VD person. I sent you an email last night with my information, Kristen. Well, thank you. Yes, nice to meet you on the live, VD Pearson. And yes, I got that email, and I'm going to respond to it ASAP. And I was just excited to see it there. So yes, I will be mailing yours out tomorrow. It's all ready. And thank you for being inspiration, you and Davy Three. So and O McMoney and Roe Deer and whoever else is gonna get one of these worship books and calendars. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out for the day. I will prayerfully be on time tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to read our next segment in preparation for the Passover. Again, we are having Passover together on March 30th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do a couple reenactments, like we're going to just pretend to leave Egypt, stuff like that, and pretend to put the blood on the door of the lamp post, the side post, and the lintel. Just reenact some things and just have a little bit of fun. Maybe do some Bible trivia and have dinner together. So the dinner plate is very simple. You should only have 5 things there with you: grape juice, water, unleavened bread, lamb, and bitter herbs. None of that other stuff. 5 things. One, two, three, four, five. So, with that being said, I love you, but the Father loves you first and best. Stay on the path. Don't turn to the left or the right. It's the Father's desire that none are lost, but we all have free will. The Father said that before we were formed in the womb, He knew us and loved us. And so, with that, I might play a song if I can find one quickly. Whew, my goodness. I didn't know talking so long was so exhausting. After a while, my mouth gets tired and it starts sticking together. Anyway, you guys have a beautifully wonderful day walking with the Father. I'm just going to play the shofar. Oh, you need me to read off the list of scriptures? Oh, I'll do it again. Sorry, hold on. Let's hold off on that. You want me to tell? I can pretty much tell them to you. So okay. So here you go, Omegmani. The list of scriptures so far that I've done, I think it was Deuteronomy 16. And I'll wait a second. Just if you want to go reread them for yourself. Deuteronomy 16, Exodus 12, Exodus 13, Leviticus 23, Leviticus 25, Genesis 1, Jubilees 6, and there's one more. It should be the Great 8, and I forgot the other one. So I'll get that one tomorrow because I'm not sure, and it's not coming to my brain right now. So at any rate, I'm going to redo the shofar. I would prefer a song, but you know, I got my raggedy phone right now, so we'll be playing the shofar. And maybe we can sing a hymn together before I get off. Is there anybody a hymn that everybody might know that we could like sing on Passover evening? Any suggestions? Yeah, I can email you that list too, Davy 3. I sure can. That list is also included in the worship book slash calendar. So, yep, it sure is. It's not in the one you got though. So that was a new thing after the fact. So after I send you the new stuff, you'll be able to delete that. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and play the shofar and have a great day.